the other day, one of my clients asked me, Julia, how did you make over $1 million in just 12 months using Instagram? And I really thought about it, and I wanted to make this video just pretty casual to walk you through the kind of mindset and strategy that I had to walk myself through to get to this point. And to give you some context, if you're first meeting me, I was running a 6-figure business on Instagram for just a few years, and I felt really plateaued at around 10K a month. I just couldn't understand why I was watching all these videos of people saying I make $100,000 a month, and I was like, why can't I figure it out? Like, I'm smart, I'm capable, but something just was not clicking. And it was only in around April of 2023 that I really cracked the code. And then from June 2023 to June of 2024, I made $1.6 million on Instagram selling one high ticket offer. So in this video, I am going to break down exactly what that looked like step by step. And we're gonna go all the way from the mindset that it took versus the tactical changes that I needed to make on Instagram and my life, my business, everything you need to know. You may even want to take some notes, because every time I come across a video like this myself of someone who maybe I look up to or who's at a higher level than I am, I really think that it's the universe sending us a sign to show us what could be possible for us. So let's backtrack for a second. Back in 2019, I started posting content on the internet. I mean, look at my first YouTube video. It was a Trader Joe's haul. I had this deep down desire to make videos, and I didn't really want to be a long form creator. I loved Instagram, and I've always loved Instagram. I started on the platform in 2011. But what I realized is that YouTube was going to be a great platform, but I knew it was going to be a longer game. And then in 2020, I found out that I was in student debt, over $20,000 in debt. And I was like, well, I need to make money, and I can't be running a Instagram influencer business, making $10 on an affiliate link for a shirt that I sell. So I needed to really figure something out. So what I did was I resold my old clothes on Poshmark, but I used Instagram to grow a personal brand. And I grew a personal brand as a reseller. So what I would do is I would take the Instagram account and I would generate leads to push them to my Poshmark store. Now, I don't want to get too much into the background, and there's so many other videos where I go over like where I started and things like that. I want to then almost like fast forward a little bit to I became debt free by doing this. And then by 2021, I quit my full-time job because I was making around 10K a month doing a lot of different things. Social media management as a done for you service. I was influencing, and I was doing brand deals and collaborations. I mean, I was getting paid up to $9,000 per brand deal. And then in late 2021, I made my first course. This was so magical because I was like, wow, like I love online courses. I'd invested in a few of them myself. And I really just saw it as a viable business opportunity because I saw people that had $50 million online course businesses. And I just thought that was absurd. I was like, the margins are amazing, 80% or more. You can drive traffic from Instagram, which I already knew. I mean, I was doing social media management as well for local brick and mortar businesses in New York City, which is where I was living at the time. And I was making them like 10 to 50K a month to sell their physical products using TikTok and Instagram for lead generation. So it was only like late 2021 that I made my first course. And then like December of 2021, I sold my first high ticket offer at $3,000. It was a manifestation course because I was a mindset and manifestation creator. And then 2022, I continued to sell those courses. Now, towards the end of 2022, I just knew 2023 was going to be different. I was extremely motivated, but I was also just ready to do whatever it was going to take to achieve that next income level for my life, my business. And I was like, I'm ready for 100K months. And my client, Katie, when she asked me this the other day, I realized that it took almost this like identity shift to first walk myself through that and then a mindset of I'm going to do whatever it takes. So I was working with a mentor at the time and we were on a call and he was like, tell me your last 3 months of cash collected. And I was like, okay, like 30K, 20K, 10K. And he was like, well, your income's going down every month. And it really just opened my eyes because I understand, right? Businesses ebb and flow, but I realized I didn't have a repeatable way to make a repeatable income. And that was extremely stressful for me as a business owner. Now, at this point, I maybe had about 50K saved from my online course business and coaching. And, I had made over $300,000. So pretty good chunk of money to save from making, just about $300,000 full time in the business. But I went all in. I basically invested like all my savings, over 40K, to figure out how to get the business to 100K. So I worked with spiritual mentors. I worked with really tactical mentors. I like binged Hormozy stuff, all the free stuff. And I finally cracked the code. And what the code was I needed to learn how to make high ticket sales every single day, or rather gather a good enough volume to hit my goals. So at the time, I was selling a $5,000 high ticket online course, and I had switched my niche. So my niche was first mindset and manifestation, and then I sidestepped to teach people how I built a niche coaching business on social media. And then April 2023 was my first $60,000 month. And that just opened my eyes of like, oh wow, I broke out of that like 10 to 30K kind of matrix. And now I was like over 50K. But the problem was I was emotionally distraught. I was very overwhelmed. I didn't know how to handle this many clients. I didn't know how to handle this much money. And what I did was I just realized that I had to make my first hire. So what I did was I locked in the system. I overworked myself. I don't know if that's the best piece of advice, but that's the truth. And I stressed my business out to see what was possible. And it was at that 60K mark that I realized, okay, I know how to do this. Now I can hire a team and contractors to help me fulfill this mission because I'm very clear on the things that I need to do. And that's when I created my cash method: content, audience, sales, high ticket offer. The reason why this works so well is because what I did was I realized I just needed to have someone help me run this system. And this is what I've now developed to be my social media sales system. And for anyone that's watching, you're gonna wanna check the first link in the description that goes over all about how to make this system and how to make this system work for you and how to make sales on the back end of your social media, Instagram specifically. And by the way, I totally cut out everything and I just doubled down on Instagram because a really big part of what I teach is my DM strategy, and Instagram has the best DMs feature. So what I did was I wrote down here, and I'm looking at my computer, I wrote down here what are the 4 biggest shifts that I had to make to achieve this next level. Of April was a 60K a month. May, I had moved to Bali. I had my first contractor with me, working on the team. It was about like a 20 or 30K month. But then June was a 97K month. And then July was the first 100K month. And that's when we continued to scale 100K a month every single month since that milestone. Now, the reason why this is so special is because sometimes you have to take a step backwards to go a step forwards. So like in April, I did 60K, and then May was somewhere between like 20 to 30K. And then it went back up to 97, 100, and so on and so forth. I mean, we've had 180K months, 200K months since then. So it was like I had to take a step backwards because I couldn't do this on my own. I had to build this system to now function without me. And I think that's the highest form of leverage is I built a system. I didn't just rely on saying, oh, well, clients may come into my inbox and clients may buy my course this month. I was like, every single month, this is a non-negotiable. So major shift number 1 was having a scalable offer. So what I did was I created one high ticket offer, and I only sold that one offer, and it's still the offer I sell today, the Conscious Creator Academy. You could check out the link in the description. We've helped over 330 creators with this program. My goal is to help over 15,000 creators, and I know we're gonna get there over the next few years because this is the program that's helping niche creators monetize the same way that I did when I was a spiritual creator, manifestation creator, and it's all using Instagram organic. Like I never understood ads, I never did ads. But now remember, it had to be scalable. So this offer was not gonna work if it was just a one-on-one coaching business. So I created the offer to be done with you. So that means it's a one-to-many versus a one-on-one. So almost all clients that work with us, we recommend a one-to-many program because it's so scalable. You have to be able to serve multiple people at once because what people don't understand about getting to 100K a month or $1 million in your business is serving people at scale is very difficult. So you need to have the system in place to be able to serve this many people. And then number 2 was hiring a team. When I got to that like 50 to 60K a month mark, I realized that I couldn't do it all on my own. Before that, I had maybe had like a VA, kind of just like here and there. But what I realized was I needed people consistently working towards the same mission every single day. So what I did was I first hired salespeople and I said, hey, I have this really great offer. People are very interested in it. I've made over $60,000 selling it in 1 month. Can you help me sell this thing? And I honestly was a little bit nervous to pay people. And I think everybody is at that point. So what I did was I hired only commissioned people to start. So I wasn't really stuck to having a liability of, you're only going to make money here if the business makes money. And I think that's such a great way for new business owners to start out when hiring people, because now you're all going to be compensated as the business gets compensated. And then number 3, which is the most important, was that evergreen sales system. I just used to like post and make content and fly by the seat of my pants. But what I realized is that yes, I'm an influencer and I want want to create this like really authentic content and I want it to be like natural and organic. But if I didn't have repeatable systems to put out content, I wasn't going to get repeat clients. And this is when I really understood how to build a social media sales system. And I followed the mantra, one offer, one platform, one funnel. So I have the one offer, CCA. I have the one platform, which is Instagram, and the one funnel, which was a consistent way to get followers to buy my paid products. So in 2023, ManyChat was still pretty new. And for those of you that don't know, ManyChat is an automation feature, but I was actually an early mover on ManyChat. I was leveraging the comments feature and getting people to comment my keyword to opt into my funnel. So what I did was I created a funnel, and it was a free course funnel, which I still run free course funnels, not the same one that I used to run, but it was a free course funnel, and I would drive all of my Instagram traffic to this funnel. And the funnel would convert followers into applications. And I've always run an application funnel because this is what's worked the best for my business. It's what I like the best. And we really get to filter for the best clients. Our company is trying to build the Harvard of online education. So we don't just accept everybody into our program. This is why we run an application funnel. This is where the program stands out. And this is where I think creating a scalable offer means that you're really tapping into your uniqueness. So for me, I don't just want a course that anyone can buy. I want to really filter through and work with the best of the best clients and creators and people that we can actually help. I want to make sure it's a mutual fit. So once I created this workflow, this system, this cash method, I realized we just have to put in to get out. And that's when your business becomes an asset, when you can get predictable results. And then lastly, number 4 is just 1% improvement. So when I first started, I didn't even know that I had a system. I was like, I'm going to just keep posting every single day. I'm going to generate leads and I'm going to convert these leads. It's actually that simple. And then over time, it was like 1 hire, 2 hire. I mean, at the time I had 7 people on my team last year when we were doing about 180K a month. So this is where it gets to be really fun and really special, because when I first started at the beginning of January 2023, I had an $8,000 month by myself. And then towards the end of the year, December 2023, I had a $180,000 month with 7 people on my team. And then fast forward to June of 2024, or I'll just go even 1 month out, July of 2024, I did another 180K month with a 92% profit margin and 1 person on my team. This is where the business gets to be really fun, because this just shows you that you can scale up or you can scale back, but the system keeps running and keeps flowing. So in that month, right, July of 2024, a couple months ago, that was a really high profit month. We had scaled the team back because we were refining some things on the back end, but the cash flow didn't turn it down. It turned it up. And that was really interesting, because this is what goes to show that when you build a system, you're not just reliant on yourself, you're reliant on something, and it's going to keep running regardless of how you feel. So that same month that I had 92% profit margin, July of 2024, that I had this amazing profit margin, a really high cash month, I also moved. We purchased our first house. I moved from Miami to where I live now, which is in New Hampshire. And that was all in the midst of this like chaos. But it was so special because we closed on our house, we were back and forth, but the business was still running because it's a system, it's not built on emotion. So this kind of brings me to the last few points that I want to get into here, which are some failures and lessons that I wrote down here that, looking back, I mean, it's amazing, right? At this point in time, the business is over $2.5 million to date. I make about 100K a month or more every single month, really high profit margins, like over 80% profit almost every month. And what I've come to realize is that it was not easy. I will say going from 0 to 100K is a lot harder than going from 100K to $1 million yearly revenue. But these lessons are the ones that really hit home for me. So number 1 is hiring and leading people is very hard. Even if they're contractors, this has been one of the most difficult things that I have gone through in the business. It's so interesting because a lot of the marketing is around high cash months and 100K months and, you know, all the things you guys want to hear, but it's like this real CEO shit that's hard. Like the back end, dealing with people's emotions, dealing with my own emotions. I mean, if I'm having a bad day, I still have to be the leader of the company and I still have to have the smile on my face. And that's really difficult. Managing people where it's like, I'm used to managing people from the coaching perspective, but managing people that are working for you is much more difficult. And I mean, I've had to go with hiring, firing, people quitting, everything under the sun, you name it. And it's been really difficult, especially when someone quits. quits and now you have to step in and you have to do the work, or you're working with someone and maybe they're not the right fit for the company and you have to maybe consider firing them. That's also really difficult. And then number two is having a really strong sales system beats everything. So the one thing that's tried and true in my business and the number one thing that people come to me for is like conversion. How do I get leads? And then how do I convert leads? And no matter what, if your reach is low, your posts aren't getting pushed out, people aren't answering you, X, Y, and Z, conversion is everything. Sales and everything. Sales is the oxygen of your business. So if you're not making sales, you don't have a business. So keeping my pulse on the sales at all time has been the biggest lesson for me in growing to hitting over 100K a month. And then number three, and the last one, is inputs equals outputs. So to get a repeatable result, you need a repeatable system. So once I stopped running my business like, oh, this is a one-on-one coaching business, people pay me hourly, I sell a course here and there, to this is a well-oiled machine, this is a system, that's when my income skyrocketed, and that's when I was able to put my head down, and that's when I was able to really get the job done. And if you want to learn how to use a social media sales system on the back end of your Instagram account, I really would recommend you apply to the Conscious Creator Academy, because this is what we teach. We teach you how to build a system on the back end of your content to get repeatable sales and consistent income. That was the most difficult thing for me, is I didn't have consistent income. Everything was fluctuating. And then I balanced it all out once I built a system. So just to wrap this all up and just to conclude, I made my first $1 million in just 12 months once I unlocked and cracked the code on how to use a social media sales system on the back end of my influence, my content creation, my business. And if there's one takeaway I want you to have at the end of this video here, it's that success doesn't happen overnight. So as you can see, there has been multiple different points of my journey, from being in debt, selling my clothes on Poshmark, starting out as an influencer in 2019, quitting my job, doing brand deals. I've done just about everything, but all those moments led up for me to have those really successful 12 months. It wasn't like it was my first 12 months in business. And I think that's really important for us to see, because we often look at people and we just see the here and the now. And the reason why I was able to unlock that in just 12 months was because of everything that led up to the journey. And I believe that when you're enjoying and when you're receiving the results in your life, it's from the hard work that you did and pushed through for so long that you're being rewarded for. It's not the in the moment or the instant gratification. So that's about it for this video. I've really enjoyed that it was more organic, more face-to-face with you guys. So if you like videos like this, leave me a comment and let me know, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, because I post videos just like this every single week on how to become a better creator, grow your business using Instagram, and of course, how to live an amazing multi-million-dollar lifestyle on the back end of your business, because that's what matters, is the way you feel in your real life. And thanks so much for watching this. Thanks to my amazing client, Katie, that inspired this video, and I'll see you in the next one.